pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council meeting is called to order. We'll call our council roll call.
Mayor Ridenhour.
Yep.
Earl.
Here.
Knox. Here. Miller. Neely.
Here.
Newland. Zimmerman.
Here.
Minutes of the previous meeting were read and approved. Fiscal officer report.
$1,564,145.11 in all funds, $226,304.96 in the general fund.
Any additions?
We did have additions today. You all should have a copy of those. It was our final payroll for the year.
Bills were read. Resolution 18-12-1 was adopted on motion by.
Earl.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
Knox.
Yes.
Neely.
Yes. Okay, no guests this evening. Go to committee reports. All is well. Police report?
On November 27th, I led the village employees' annual identity theft training. Employees were reminded of safeguards as they need to have in place to protect residents' personal information. Employees were also given tips on how to protect their own identity and what to do if they become a victim of identity theft. The timing was good because this is the time of year where we see identity theft happen a lot. Just in the last couple weeks, I've seen a spike in reports that I've had to take for people that have had their Walmart.com accounts hacked into, their credit card accounts, that type of thing, where people are getting packages delivered in other locations and stuff like that. So it was just a good reminder for everybody to check their credit reports and take safeguards to make sure when they're reading meters and things like that, that they're safeguarding the residents' personal information too. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation Quality Assurance Unit was at the office on November 27th. The audit went extremely well and was done in order to provide resources to local law enforcement agencies. Additionally, the audit was done to ensure that our closed criminal cases have been properly reported by the court system and Sheriff's Office to BCI to be included in an individual's computerized criminal history report. That's also known as a background check that law enforcement uses. The quality assurance specialist was very complimentary of the agencies in Auglaize County and how our processes work. Basically how it works is the Sheriff's Office puts the information in the system after the court disposes of the case, and they do that for all the agencies in the county. So that system keeps everything going the direction it needs to go. So they were very, very good about that. I'm going to skip the next part and go on to the 2019 State of the Police Department. At the January meeting, I will provide you with the end of the year statistics as well as the plans I have moving forward for 2019. Next year looks to be an interesting year at the legislative level, which will impact law enforcement. I'll provide some insight on that as well as how I will try to address some of the more pressing issues in the village. And lastly, on December 6th, the Auglaize Mercer Grand Lake Drug Task Force, Wapakoneta Police Department K-9 unit, and the Auglaize County Sheriff's Office K-9 unit assisted me in a drug sniff operation at the factory IPS West. Having 3 K-9s working and adequate manpower to search areas and vehicles was incredibly helpful and appreciated. Drugs were located and charges have been filed. There's also an ongoing investigation thanks to the information we gathered during that event. We will do that again periodically as we learned a lot this time around, and we'll continue to address that as that tends to be an issue. That also opened up some potential doors for a couple of drug houses here in town that we'll be working on here in the near future. So Hopefully I'll be able to report on some of that in the coming months. We'll see how that goes. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Administrator's absence this evening. Any questions anybody has? Maybe I can answer. Okay, Mayor's Court report, $698 was deposited into the general fund from Mayor's Court account for the month of November. That's all I have. We'll go to old business. Has anybody had a chance to start reviewing the zoning?
I'm working on it.
Are you seeing anything that will or won't work?
Well, Scott, when he called me, he had a problem with some of the motorhome type things. He wants to. He said if I had a chance to mention that because he's going to be bringing that up.
Okay.
He thinks it's a little strict on some like the nice motorhomes and that kind of thing.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Well, that's what
Yep.
we want to do. We want to
Yep.
review it and try to come up with a good plan. Any other old business? Go to new business. Well, we got the next year to look forward to trying to get some things accomplished, so this is pretty much gonna close out this year.
But I think we've had a good year.
I think we have.
I do too.
Absolutely.
Got a lot done.
I know Jill's trying to get all the books closed out for the year.
We closed out 3 projects this year, that's pretty good. Big projects, so.
Do we have any big projects for next year that we know of?
Just some finish work on a few of the things that we were working on this year. I do know that, we put in an application for West Canal Street.
Right.
We'll just have to see how that plays out.
What about the shelter house back at the new part of the park back there? Anything come of that yet?
I haven't really approached it yet. What I'm going to try to do is figure out if we can get either volunteer or donations or something like that to kind of fund that project. See if we can make that happen. Because I think it'd be well used in that area. The wooded area with the walk path going through there, the parking lot's done. Hopefully we can start utilizing that this next spring.
Maybe work on getting benches to put along the walk path, like we talked about, maybe having families, if they want to donate a bench in a family's name along the walk path, that we can approach too.
Well, we have benches ordered for the Veterans Memorial. They should be in the spring, correct, Barb?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how those work out and see if those will be adequate for other places along the path. And we'll kind of approach that as, if we decide we want to sell or sponsorship on names on them and that type of thing to help fund that project, and we'll look at that.
I think they'll get used. I've had a lot of people say that like elderly people that want to walk and have a place to sit down. I think it would really be good if we, we spaced them out right.
Sure. Well, I was very happy with the amount of people that have used the walk path already. It's a lot of people.
We really have a short season, so.
In a short season.
So, yeah.
It'll be a buzzing when the sun's shining to
Yeah.
get used.
Have the problems died down with people using it with improper vehicles?
And I think since we addressed that pretty much has
Died down?
Yeah.
to take care, and we haven't got them installed yet, but we have stanchions that will go right at the entrance from the roadways and so on, kind of deter that activity and thing. But I haven't heard of anything. There for a while we had trucks and trailers and motorcycles and you name it. But a lot of people walking, a lot of people on bicycles this fall. I was real pleased.
One thing you might think about for the next upcoming season is the hours of the park, because the walking path currently is closed from sunset to sunrise, and that's included in the park hours. So it's not a big issue right now because nobody's really using it, but there are a lot of people that like to run before work, and especially after the time change in the evening time. It gets dark at 5:30. Technically the park is closed then at that point. So just maybe something that for this next season to consider. I have an idea in mind, but I don't want to present it yet because I want to do a little bit more research and that type of thing. But I think it would solve some of our, well, not really solve. I think the problems that we've had in the past have been eliminated due to the park hours. We still get people in there after dark that occasionally we have to address, but usually it's people playing basketball. They pull their cars up with their headlights on the basketball court, and they're just trying to play basketball and things like that. The reason we changed the hours was due to people spray painting things on restroom walls and doing criminal type acts. So we haven't had those issues in several years. Really since we changed the park hours. So that's why it'll be a decision that this body will need to make, because we don't want to go back to having problems. But certainly, there are days when it's 90 degrees outside and somebody may want to run on the path at 5 in the morning as opposed to once it gets daylight because of the heat and that type of thing. So we may need to look at that, even if it's just something that allows the path to be open but the rest of the park to be closed or something like that.
Anybody have anything else? Solicitor?
Don't really have anything to add over what we did, or I said last month about the pending lawsuit. We got the zoning issue with Mr. Hudson worked out. And that, as I understand, has moved forward. He has moved forward, and that should be a done deal. But as far as the pending litigation, haven't heard a word. We did give the other side an extension to respond to the discovery that we had filed on behalf of the village. And I don't believe that date has passed yet. But hopefully after the first year something will happen. I don't want to push Judge Peppel too much. You got to be careful in these situations, because if you push, you'll get a decision. You might not like that decision and probably won't if you push him. So he's busy with his criminal docket, I'm sure. Have not heard anything about him stepping aside because he knows everybody. And I would think if he was willing to do that, he would have done that at the beginning. And the Supreme Court would have appointed somebody by now, but to my knowledge, that has not happened, and we would have been notified. So.
Well, that's all I have this evening. Wish everybody great holidays and look forward to next year trying to accomplish some things here in the community.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Neely,
Yes.
Knox,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.